able to be present with.
Start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm very sorry not to be able to be present with you today at the launch of Cork Trauma Sensitive City Strategy 2022 to 2025, setting out your vision for a trauma-sensitive city to include citywide trauma awareness and healing through relationships. Trauma has been recognised for many years now as a central core issue of psychological distress in so many people's lives. But without the important backup information to enable both services and individuals learn how best to deal with it. It's a game changer for Cork City in that the state organisation of Cork City Council and HSE are to be congratulated for working together with local services and educational bodies to build greater understanding of the various aspects of adverse childhood experiences and trauma. This initiative will be invaluable to the local population in helping people to better understand themselves and society as a whole, and the importance of kindness and empathy in all human interactions. As co-founder of Silent Voices, a campaign run by Alcohol Action Ireland, I was honoured to be asked to speak about my own personal experience of growing up with parental problem alcohol use. Having also had the experience of working as an addiction counsellor, I am very aware of the experience from both sides. It's difficult to convey one's personal experience in one short video, but I've given some examples about what a younger child would go through living with an alcohol-dependent parent. The most profound experience for me overall was growing up in a tense atmosphere due to unpredictability, where I was constantly worried and anxious, unable to express certain thoughts and feelings for fear of upsetting someone. I was mainly preoccupied with how my dad's drinking was impacting my mum and felt that I always had to be a good, responsible daughter. The impact of parental problem alcohol use nationally is a permanent fixture in many family lives, with almost 1/3 of children in Ireland living with at least one parent who's either a regular binge drinker or dependent on alcohol. Children in this environment are faced with a range of challenges, such as not being able to talk about their parents' drinking, not being able to trust anyone, and not being able to feel their true feelings, which those three things combined shows how difficult it is for a child to thrive in that, holding back so much. This is an adverse childhood experience, which remains a deeply hidden aspect of Ireland's relationship with alcohol. There are many reasons for this, including family dynamics, shame, and the wider societal conflict between our image of Ireland as a country which identifies strongly with drinking, yet knows there is a huge price to pay for our alcohol use. Part of our work is to break down the stigma by talking about parental problem alcohol use and highlighting the impact on spouses, partners, siblings, and children. Parents do not wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to drink too much and ruin my children's lives." That's not what happens. They have problems that they have no idea how to deal with. And as a society, we need to look at drinking and drug use as a symptom of emotional pain and trauma, which needs treatment. Early intervention is key in helping substance use dependent parents recognize the harm they are doing, firstly to themselves, and preventing further harm to their children and families. As a result of a trauma-informed population, my hope is that children and adults who have grown up with parental problem substance use will be better able to name their experience and come to know and understand themselves as a result of counselling and psychoeducational support for the very challenging and difficult family circumstances they've experienced. There needs to be a much greater awareness of the impact of parental problem alcohol use on people presenting to mental health services And modules on this topic should be included in all health, psychology, and nursing modules. Recent research from the Department of Applied Psychology in UCC has shown us that 70% of health professionals had no training on the impact of parental problem alcohol use. This was research commissioned by Alcohol Action Ireland. Family members require help and support to reduce the helplessness and the powerlessness as they wait for the problem drinker to admit the need for treatment, which may never happen. There is a real need to develop properly funded and resourced supports for spouses, partners, and children experiencing parental problem alcohol use. My life's experience working as an addiction counsellor taught me that provision of such programs is an incredible advantage to helping spouses and partners and children reduce the mental health trauma and difficulties that they're presented with. We must also assure that children and spouses as individuals with rights can access services even when partners or parents are not in treatment. It is so heartening to see people in recovery from their own substance use being advocates for family members, such as Tony Adams recently on Strictly Come Dancing, and indeed the two Norries and others. Regarding our culture of drinking, when asked by Gay Byrne at a Late Late show on alcoholism many years ago, who did I blame for my father's drinking? I responded by stating Irish culture. This still remains the case today, but it is much worse now with the level of alcohol marketing still so pervasive, particularly on social media. As adults, we all need to take responsibility for how much and how often we drink. Children do not distinguish between a parent who is tipsy or drunk, and therefore any changes in their behaviour can be frightening for a child. Despite the great advocacy for the Public Health Alcohol Act in Cork during critical periods, we still do not have full implementation of the Act, nor do we have government departments talking to each other, as the Department of Justice Sale of Alcohol Bill is currently in direct opposition to the spirit of the Public Health Alcohol Act. This is so discouraging for public health in general, but particularly for our overall health and family care systems. Cork, as a trauma-sensitive city with an emphasis on relationships, will in time reap rewards for everyone in deepening understanding of humanity. If this strategy had been in place many years ago, much torment and distress would have been avoided. Good things are happening in many different sectors of health and social care with regard to ACEs and trauma. And one such example is the recent establishment of the Trauma Informed Education.ie website. I look forward to hearing about developments in the implementation of this highly ambitious but necessary strategy. Thank you very much.